Hello guys and gals, and welcome! So today I'm joined by my little friend, Mr. Nimoy. What's up, Mr. Nimoy? He's being a good little boy today, and if he does be a bad little boy, he's going to have to go back in his cage. But we shall see. I was hoping maybe he could join me on today's episode. So today we're going to be talking about the Runeword Duress. Duress is a very interesting rune word, and it can be used both on your character and, of course, also on your mercenary. I believe Duress actually is a rather popular, cheap rune word for mercenaries, as it only requires one rune. But Treachery is also cheap. It only requires a lem rune, so it really depends on what you're looking for. It does have some very interesting stats, and for that reason, we're going to go over to the website, and we're going to take a look and see how this particular item can roll. We want to take a look at the stats. So here we go. We are on the website. I'm going to bring this up real nice and big here so that we can really see it really quite well. And Mr. NiNi, they don't want our heads in the way, so we're going to put it off to the side. No, you don't have to move your head. I did all the work. Okay. So Duress is ShaelUmThul, and it is mainly for body armors. And the very interesting thing about this armor is it has some nice stats, like open wounds and crushing blow, which is very nice for certain characters. Now, if you happen to be a mercenary, having open wounds and crushing blow is also very nice. So there's that. Now, the stats on the item are right here, and as you can see, it rolls 40% faster hit recovery, which is very, very nice for mercenaries. Mercenaries, if you don't know, have absolutely awful faster hit recovery breakpoints, and having even just 40% faster hit recovery is amazing on them because they are absolute trash at recovering from hits. We also have adds 10 to 20% enhanced damage, which is nice for certain characters. That will definitely help out your mercenary, or for instance, your paladin, or maybe you're just putting it on a boson. It'll help you with that too. Adds 37 to 133 cold damage with a 2-second duration. Cold damage is nice to have on a character just simply because it chills the targets and slows them down. 15% chance of crushing blow, which is absolutely amazing. So you have the extra chance, and this can stack up to 100% crushing blow, believe it or not. So every single hit that you do can deal a crushing blow. So this is a way that you can get crushing blow on an armor. Crushing Blow deals 25% of the monster's maximum hit points every time it triggers. So if a monster has 100 hit points, it'll do 25 damage. If they have 1,000 hit points, it'll do 250. However, once it does that damage, once it brings their damage or health down from 1,000 to 750, it is now 25% of 750, and so forth and so on. So it does have diminishing returns. Open Wounds is also very nice, 33% chance of open wounds. So the fact that it has Crushing Blow and open wounds on it is pretty amazing. And Open Wounds is a 8-second duration ability that causes the monster to bleed and will prevent the monster from regenerating. This is actually really nice because on Ubers and things like Diablo and whatnot that regenerate quite quickly, this will prevent any kind of regeneration while the effect is in place. And 33% is a pretty decent percent chance. 150 to 200% enhanced defense, which means it's going to have some pretty nice defense. On mine, on the other screen, and you can't see it right now, but it's 1,650 for a just an Archon plate. It's not ethereal. So on an ethereal plate, it's definitely going to have quite a bit of extra defense. We also have negative 20% slower stamina drain, which is completely pointless on the mercenary, but would help you out a little bit. Usually by the time you get high enough to wear a rune word like this, you're not really too worried about stamina drain. It also has cold resist 45%, which comes from the Thul rune, I believe. That is an extra little bonus, and then the rune, of course, is giving you the all resistance 15, which is nice to have. So all in all, it's a very interesting armor, and let me flip back over to my character. And as you can see here, no, I'm trying to flip over this way. As you can see there, it's a rather high defense plate with 1650, and since it has absolutely no variance, whenever you make one of these, it's going to be exactly the same no matter what. And this particular one is made for a person, as you can see, so you could swap it back and forth between yourself and a mercenary if that's what you wanted to do. Obviously, if I wanted to put this on a mercenary, it would definitely still be useful to her, but if I wanted to make one specifically for a mercenary, I would probably want to find a nice ethereal plate. And Mr. NiNi, calm down. Um, I don't want to say that this is a cheap recipe, though, because runes are rather sought after, and people love to put runes in their equipment. If I had like a Guardian Angel Templar code and I upgraded it to the higher tier, and then I wanted to socket it with an rune so that I'd have the extra resistances, you know, and there are tons and tons of things that you like to put runes in for the resistances, especially shields, because runes do, it's 22% on shields. So it's kind of like a catch-22 here. While the armor does seem to be a relatively cheap armor, it's not that cheap. I guess if you wanted to make this for a merc, the reasons why you would make this for a merc would be for that crushing blow and the chance of open wounds. And this might be a decent budget piece if you were going for Ubers, because it would give you 15% chance of crushing blow and 33% chance of open wounds. So it's kind of like a very intriguing piece, just simply because of the 15% and the 33% on those two abilities. 40% faster recovery, again, of course, is always nice to have, and I'm glad that it does have that on there. It doesn't have anything like the 45% IAS that Treachery does, or the Fade proc or anything like that. But I could totally see this being a viable mercenary plate, especially if you were running it with another form of crushing blow. You hear that? Mr. NiNi just said help. If you were running it with another form of crushing blow, it would definitely be viable, especially if you could get your merc up to a higher percentage. I'm not exactly sure what I would tag this with. I mean, the Hone Sudan Yari is actually a pretty decent weapon. If you were to find an ethereal Hone Sudan Yari, oh, he gave me a little nipple. He's a good boy. He's a good boy, ain't ya? Yeah. If you were to tag this with a Hone Sudan Yari that was ethereal and upgraded, Hone Sudan Yari has 45% crushing blow, and this has 15%. And then maybe you could give him an ethereal. Well, you can't get ethereal Gillam's Face, because Gillam's Face is a set item. But just a Gillam's Face for some extra crushing blow. I could totally see this having some really nice effects as far as the amount of damage he outputs. Not exactly 100% sure if this is better than maybe Treachery or Fortitude, but it's certainly cheaper than Fortitude. It's not cheaper than Treachery, though, and that's the thing. Why are you hiding back there, sir? I think he knows where the camera is, I swear. He hides directly behind my head. Get out of here. Anyway, this is a very interesting rune word, and if you were interested in making this rune word, I could totally see this being viable on quite a few characters. Maybe a shape-shifting druid, a zeal paladin, a smiter, somebody who's going for Ubers. There's all sorts of very interesting things that this particular rune word could be good for. I could see this being useful on a ranged character. The 15% crushing blow and 33% open wounds, though, does have to be applied with a ranged or a melee weapon. So this armor is probably not going to be good for any characters that are actually casters. So like a Hammered In, unless your Hammered In is subbed into Smite. A sorceress, like an elemental druid, things like that. They're not going to get good use out of this, which is why I think it tends to be a better plate for specifically for mercenaries. But imagine if you did make this in a regular plate instead of an ethereal plate. You had it on your mercenary, and maybe you had a Treachery. You could swap back and forth between the Treachery and this. And you can have the Fade proc along with the Crushing Blow and the Open Wounds. Anyway, as always, I'm always happy to have you guys watching my videos. And this time we have to say goodbye. Mr. NiNi. He don't know what to say. Mr. NiNi, would you like to say something? Okay. And thank you for watching, and keep watching.